Chapter 3. The Lover and the Beloved, Yah and Yahlah. Lo, I know how I shall create, for I have looked deeply into Ein Sof, searching for the most beautiful, the most wise, and the most blissful way to create my children. And behold, as I looked deeply into Ein Sof, I found the answer looking back at me. Yea, the answer to the question asked by Yah, how will I create my children, was revealed in the face of Yahlah. For when Yah looked within Ein Sof and asked, how will I create my children? Behold, the face of our goddess, our divine mother, Yahlah, did appear. Lo, prior to gazing into the face of Yahlah, Yah hath been neither male nor female. And prior to gazing into the face of Yah, Yahlah has been neither male nor female. Behold, at the moment Yah beheld Yahlah, Yahlah became the divine feminine, and Yah became the divine masculine. Yah reached into Ein Sof and touched the face of Yahlah, and lo, she whom had existed in divine possibility as the most beautiful possibility now existed in that divine actuality as the most beautiful actuality. And in her face, Yah beheld simultaneously the faces of every female who will ever exist. And in his face, Yahlah beheld the faces of every male who will ever exist. Yah and Yahlah knew this truth, was their truth, the truth of Yah, which is Omen. Then Yah desired to embrace Yahlah, and Yahlah desired to embrace Yah. And behold, Yah and Yahlah embraced. Yea, they become entwined, and the body of Yah was in that instant every male body that will ever exist. And the body of Yahlah was in that instance every female body that will exist. Lo, the bodies of Yah and Yahlah were not physical, but spiritual. Neither were their bodies confined to a time or place or shape or structure or condition. Behold, exactly what their bodies were and are cannot be fathomed by the human mind. Neither can bodies of Yah and Yahlah be drawn by the human hand. For who can fathom or draw this mystery? The body of Yah not only was everybody of every male and of every species that will ever exist, but was even every phase of every body, from birth to old age, from rebirth to rebirth. Yea, and Yahlah was likewise, but female, containing the bodies of every female who will ever be. For every male and every female, yea, every being that will ever exist, will exist within their own ovum of light, which the Hebrew term is Be-Shah Haru. And every phase of existence of each being will take place within that ovum. And all ovums are within Yah and Yahlah. Thus, when Yah embraces Yahlah, Yah is one with every female. Likewise, in the transcendental embrace of Yah, Yahlah is one with every male who will ever be. And within the bodies of Yah and Yahlah are everybody that will ever exist, even of mountains and stars and trees, for even within such things are hidden the feminine and masculine principles. For all things that are fruit of the embrace of the masculine in the feminine. And Yah knew that Yahlah knew him, and it was so, for when Yahlah had waited in Ein Sof for Yah to find her, she had been privy to his every thought and feeling, for Ein Sof was within Yah, and she was within Ein Sof. Now Ein Sof was also within her, for like Yah, Yahlah was now outside of Ein Sof, and Yahlah felt that Yah knew her. And it was so. For when Yah found Yahlah within Ein Sof, he recognized her as the beautiful voice that has ever spoken within his heart. And Yah knew Yahlah is mostly like me, but a bit different in a complementary way. And Yah rejoiced in the similarity between he and Yahlah, and Yah rejoiced in the difference between he and Yahlah. Yea, the difference was not only useful, Yah knew, being the way of creation, but also playful and fun, and Yah is playful indeed, which is why Yah chose this way from amongst the infinite possibilities. And Yahlah knew Yah is mostly like me, but a bit different in a complementary way, and Yahlah rejoiced in the similarities between she and Yah. And Yahlah rejoiced in the difference between she and Yah. Yea, the difference was not only useful, Yahlah knew, being the way of creation, but also playful and fun. And Yahlah is playful indeed. Behold, from the beginning she has sung this song within her heart, Yah, even before Yah found her in Ein Sof. Yea, the difference between Yah and Yahlah is the difference between the masculine and the feminine principles. Truly, this difference is cause for celebration, for this difference makes possible creation. Yea, it makes possible the gracious gift and the bliss of the lover and the beloved. And Yah knew this and rejoiced, and Yahlah felt this and rejoiced. Yah and Yahlah are two that are one, and the one that is two. In their transcendental embrace, they reasoned and felt and intuited together as I and I. For Yah was no longer one alone, but was now I and I, the one another, the lover and the beloved, Yah and Yahlah.